My ex-girlfriend wants to place our baby for adoption. I'm 23. My ex-girlfriend is 20. We met in college. I've since graduated, but she has 2 years left. She's 21 weeks pregnant and wants to put the baby up for adoption. She was around 14 weeks pregnant when she told me she was pregnant. We had already broken up 2 months before that, and I honestly had no idea she was pregnant. She said she needed space to make her own decision, and that's why she didn't tell me. From the moment she told me she was pregnant, I told her I would support whatever decision she made. I respect that it's her decision. I believe in a woman's right to choose and all that. I feel guilty that I got her pregnant. I'm internally panicking at the idea of a baby, and the idea of being a father is wild and unreal to me right now. But when she told me she was planning to put the baby up for adoption, it felt like a gut punch. She's already connected with an adoption agency and looking at possible adoptive families. In no way do I think she should be forced to be a parent. I would never want to contribute to that. I completely understand her reasoning. It's just making me feel sick. She seems as content as she can be with the decision. She knows this is the right decision for her. I don't know if I can consent to it. I've started researching contested adoptions. I think it's sort of crazy, and I'd have to be willing and prepared to completely support and parent the baby on my own and be able to prove it. I feel guilty thinking about coming in and ruining all of her plans. Maybe it wouldn't be fair to anyone for me to do that, but I'm becoming more uncomfortable with the idea of adoption every day. I've not told her how I feel because I know it took her a while to come to her decision, and even though she feels it's the right one, it's also a highly emotional thing for her. I spend a lot of time trying to rationalize why adoption is the best thing for everyone. Update 1. I was really surprised by how many people responded, and honestly, the advice was all over the place, and admittedly some of it got me pretty worked up. I think it really helped hearing some unbiased thoughts of my situation though. There's no huge update really. I've decided that just sitting here passively and not saying anything won't get me anywhere. My ex and I are in regular communication. We don't talk every day, but we text every few days. She told me she can't find any adoptive parents that feel right yet. She really wants me to start looking at the stuff the adoption agency has sent. She asked if I had looked, and I told her I skimmed some stuff, but it doesn't really make me feel good. That was my opening to tell her I'm really not sure how I feel about adoption, and I'm having second thoughts regarding my own desire to parent my child or not. She asked me what I was really trying to say, and I tried to communicate that I'm not saying she should keep the baby and be a parent right now. I understand why this is the best decision for her, but I'm not sure if it's the best decision for me. She said, "What? You're going to be a single dad? Ha ha ha." I told her maybe. It's not that crazy. She said it is crazy and, "Don't do this to me." She basically feels like if I do that, even if I don't hold it against her, she's still legally the mom, and suddenly she'll be this horrible deadbeat parent who isn't involved with her child at all. By placing the baby with another family, she breaks the legal ties, and she doesn't have to feel like she's quite as shitty of a person. Even my own mom is unsure of how to feel about what I'm considering it, but she would support me. She understands my feelings about not wanting my child to be raised by other people, but worries I'm biting off more than I can chew. She still supports me 100%. She thinks it's crazy, but she also thinks I can do it if it's what I want. That I admittedly cried like a baby about it to my mom, and in true mom fashion she thinks I need to follow my heart. Update 2. I've decided to pursue custody of my child and will not be consenting to an adoption. My ex-GF may or may not still try to pursue adoption. There's no way to know right now because she hasn't talked to me since I told her I was uncomfortable with adoption and exploring my own options. I have a consultation with a lawyer next week. In the meantime, I contacted the appropriate local county health departments. I can add myself to the putative father registry in the current state she's in. I've already downloaded the form and will get it notarized and sent off on Monday. This will do nothing to establish paternity, but will hopefully mean that I should be notified should she try to place our baby for adoption without informing me herself. The other state, the state she's from and where her family lives, doesn't have a putative father registry. I'll still need to establish paternity as soon as the baby is born. That is, if she even informs me when she gives birth. I'd really like to be there or be able to get there as soon as possible, but I really have no clue what she's thinking or planning at this point. That I have a pretty clear understanding of my options for establishing paternity and am hoping that by then she'll be willing to sign an affidavit establishing me as the father. Otherwise, I'll need to go through the courts. In an ideal world, she'd agree to a prenatal paternity test. I do believe I'm the father, but it would be nice to have that definitive assurance before I completely turn my life upside down for this. Since she's not event talking to me currently, I can't ask her for that right now. Maybe once she has a chance to process things, we'll be able to talk about this more and she will cooperate. If not, I can't force her to do anything and may have to wait for the test. She's really stubborn, so I can see her digging her heels in. I'm leaving her alone right now, but I will communicate my decision to her after I speak with a lawyer. All of the comments on my previous posts really helped. The constructive criticism was needed. It gave me some important things to think about and questions to answer for myself. It did make me doubt myself, but ultimately the negative comments telling me not to do this or that I can't do it only served to motivate me further. She's around 23 weeks now. It feels like her due date is still a long ways away, but now that she's at the point of seriously looking at and interviewing potential adoptive families, I felt like I couldn't wait much longer to make a decision and move forward with it. Plus, it's going to take me at least that long to figure out some of the logistics. I previously had no clue how expensive daycare is or that waitlists are often months or sometimes even more than a year long. I need to save money, start budgeting, maybe even considering moving slightly closer to family. I haven't figured anything out beyond just making the decision, but that was probably one of the hardest parts. Update 3. My ex-girlfriend gave birth to my daughter on New Year's Day and didn't inform me until today. I'm so pissed off that she would do something like that to me. I had asked her to please let me know when she went into labor so I could do my best to get there ASAP. We broke up before she told me she was pregnant and we now live in different states. My previous posts detail a lot of the backstory, but basically she wanted to place the baby for adoption and I ultimately decided that I wanted to keep the baby. She has maintained that she doesn't want to be a parent and has not been planning to be involved. I have been preparing to be a single parent for the past several months, with the understanding that there was a chance that she might change her mind and want to be involved with our daughter. I told her no matter what, I wanted to be involved with raising my child, and whether she changed her mind or not, I was going to be involved. Even after we broke up, our relationship was good for the first part of her pregnancy. We communicated regularly and she wanted to involve me in the adoption process and all of that. As soon as I told her that I wasn't going to consent to an adoption, she turned cold, and I get it, I ruined her plans. She has been giving me very brief updates, basically just to let me know everything was fine. We had one big long conversation and she seemed to accept my decision, even though she was still upset about it, and made me promise that I'd give our baby all of these things she really wanted her child to have in life. I thought things seemed good or better after that. She even told me where she was at over the holidays, in case something happened. She already told me she didn't want me in the delivery room and I didn't fight that. I was disappointed at the idea that I wouldn't see my daughter being born, but in the grand scheme of things it was something I could live with. She told me she'd tell me when she went to the hospital so I could prepare. Today she sent me a picture and said our daughter was born on New Year's Day. She wasn't due until the end of January, but she is healthy and only spent one extra day in the hospital. The baby went home with my ex-GF and her parents. She said it's only fair that she got a few days with her before I knew, since I'm taking our daughter away forever. I've told her that if she changed her mind I would rearrange my life, job, home, etc., because I'm not going to live states away from my child. She's trying to act as if I'm the bad guy taking her baby away now. I don't feel prepared yet. I mean, I felt like there was nothing else I could do to prepare and it was just a waiting game, but now I feel like I really need the extra few weeks. I wish somebody could just knock me out with a sedative until my flight out there, because I'm just buzzing like crazy with all the emotions. My mom was supposed to come with me, since I planned to stay there for a few days before traveling back home, but due to the unexpected timing my sister is coming with me. I just have a bad feeling about how dealing with my ex will be moving forward. I have a lawyer and already have things in motion to protect myself and my daughter, but I had just really hoped that things could be amicable between us. I feel like I've done nothing but try to be nice and understanding every step of the way.